Maria Johnson, at 70 years old, was a well-known and beloved figure at the Sunrise Diner, a small family restaurant located in Atlanta, Georgia. Since she started working there over a decade ago, Maria had become the beating heart of the place. Her warm smile and youthful spirit made her an indispensable presence for regulars and new visitors alike. That Wednesday morning, the sun was gently shining through the diner's glass windows, and Maria was standing behind the counter, preparing a fresh batch of coffee. The rich aroma of the coffee mixed with the smell of freshly baked bread, creating a cozy environment that made customers feel right at home. "Good morning, Mrs. Johnson," said Jane, a regular customer, as she walked into the diner. Maria turned with a warm smile. "Good morning, Jane. How are you today?" Jane sat at one of the tables near the window and replied, "I'm great, thank you. And how are you feeling?" Maria laughed softly. "Oh, I'm doing well. Just another day to brighten people's lives. What can I get for you today?" As Maria took Jane's order, a young mother with a small child walked in and settled at a table in the back. Maria greeted her with a smile. "Good morning. Can I start you off with a coffee and a menu?" The young mother, with a distracted look, nodded and murmured a "yes, thank you." Maria headed to the kitchen, ready to prepare the order. However, the friendly and familiar atmosphere of the diner was about to change. A group of young people, aged between 18 and 20, entered the diner, laughing and talking loudly. When Maria approached them to take their order, one of the young men, named Jason, shot a critical look in her direction. "Hey, guys," Jason said sarcastically, "isn't there someone younger to serve us? Like, someone who isn't a grandma?" The other young people laughed, and Maria felt a wave of embarrassment and sadness. Trying to maintain her composure, she said, "Good morning. What can I get for you guys?" No, Jason interrupted. "We want someone younger. Can you get one of the younger servers?" Maria stood still for a moment, the smile fading from her face. She knew the issue wasn't about the service, but about respect. She turned and walked back to the counter, where the manager, Mr. Thompson, was watching the scene with a concerned expression. "Mr. Thompson, they don't want to be served by me," Maria said, her voice trying to stay calm. "I can call one of the younger waitstaff." Mr. Thompson looked at Maria with a determined expression. "No, Maria. You have every right to serve these customers. I won't allow them to treat you like that. I'm going to talk to them." As Mr. Thompson approached the group of young people, Maria stepped back and began preparing a new coffee tray. Jane, who had been watching the scene, approached Maria. "Are you okay, dear?" Jane asked with concern. Maria took a deep breath and forced a smile. "I'll be fine, Jane. Don't worry about it." Mr. Thompson, with a firm tone, addressed the group of young people. "I want you to know that your behavior is unacceptable. Mrs. Johnson is a valuable employee of this diner, and everyone deserves to be treated with respect, regardless of age." The young people, feeling embarrassed, mumbled apologies. "Sorry, man. We didn't mean to be disrespectful," Jason said in a less confident tone. "It's good to hear that," Mr. Thompson replied. "Now, if you need anything, please let us know. And remember, respect is key." Maria continued her work, although the incident left a bitter taste. Jane watched her with empathy, feeling that the treatment of Maria did not reflect the true spirit of the diner. As the morning progressed, Maria made an effort to maintain the positive attitude that had always been her trademark. She chatted with customers, prepared orders, and did her best to ignore the incident. Deep down, she knew that the next day would bring new challenges, but also new opportunities to show that, regardless of age, respect and dignity should never be compromised. The next morning, Maria Johnson arrived at the Sunrise Diner with the same determination she always had. She was dressed in her blue waitress uniform, her hair neatly pulled back into a bun. Maria always started her day with a cup of coffee and a smile, ready to face the hours of work ahead. As Maria prepared the utensils and arranged the tables, the diner began to fill up with the morning rush. The atmosphere was again cozy, with the aroma of fresh coffee and the soft music from the radio creating a pleasant ambience. Around 10 a.m., the group of young people who had caused the trouble the previous day walked in again. Maria noticed them immediately and braced herself to face the situation with the same dignity she had shown the day before. She approached the table where Jason and his friends were sitting, trying to ignore her discomfort. "Good morning, guys. What can I get for you today?" Jason, seeing Maria, shot a look of disdain. "Look who's here again," he said with a tone that had no sarcasm. "Is there anyone younger to serve us?" One of Jason's friends, Mike, laughed and added, "Yeah, man. We don't want someone your age serving us. You get it, right?" Maria tried to stay calm. "I'm here to help and ensure everyone has a good experience. If you have any requests, I'd be happy to take them." As Maria walked away, Mr. Thompson observed from a corner of the diner. He knew that the unfair treatment of Maria was not just a service issue, but a matter of respect. With a look of concern and anger, he approached the group. "I need to talk to you," Thompson said, his voice firm and authoritative. "Your behavior is completely unacceptable. Mrs. Johnson is an exemplary employee, and everyone deserves to be treated with dignity, regardless of their age." Jason, a bit embarrassed, tried to justify. "Sorry, sir. We didn't mean to be disrespectful. It's just that we thought it would be easier with someone younger." "That's no excuse," Thompson interrupted. "Respect should be a priority. If you're not willing to treat everyone with respect, maybe you shouldn't be here." The young people, realizing the seriousness of the situation, lowered their heads. "Sorry, sir. We'll behave better," Jason said in a more humble tone. Thompson nodded and returned to the counter area, leaving the young people with a sense of guilt. Maria, watching the scene, took a deep breath and tried to focus on her work. She knew the incident wasn't over, and the emotional impact was starting to weigh on her. By the end of the shift, Maria was exhausted. She headed to the break room, where she found Jane finishing her coffee. "You look tired, Maria," Jane said, looking at her with concern. Maria sat down next to Jane and sighed. "It's been a tough day, Jane. Those young people again. It felt like everything I did was insignificant to them." Jane reached out and touched Maria's shoulder in a comforting gesture. "You shouldn't let it get to you. You do such a wonderful job here, and everyone who truly knows you understands that. Don't let a few people's ignorance define who you are." Maria smiled gratefully. "Thank you, Jane. Your words mean a lot to me." As Maria was getting ready to leave work, Mr. Thompson approached her. "Maria, I'm sorry about what happened today. I just wanted you to know that your dedication and work are greatly appreciated." "I know, Mr. Thompson." "I appreciate your support," Maria replied with a tired smile. "I'll move on and try not to let this get me down." As Maria walked out of the diner, the feeling of sadness was still there, but she was determined not to let a few people's disrespect affect her. She knew she would face challenges, but she also had the support of friends and colleagues who were her source of strength. She was ready for another day, hoping that respect and dignity would prevail, even in the face of adversity. After the tough day at the diner, Maria Johnson returned to her small house in Atlanta with a weight on her shoulders. Her home, with its blooming garden and small porch, was usually a haven of peace. But that night, Maria couldn't shake off the feeling of discomfort and disappointment. She settled into her comfortable couch, wrapped in a blanket, while the soft light from the lamp illuminated the room. The silence of the night was broken only by the occasional sound of cars passing on the quiet street. Maria's wife, Eva, entered the room with a worried look. "Are you okay, dear? You seemed quite down when you got home." Maria looked at Eva, her life partner for so many years, and forced a smile. "I'm fine, Eva. Just a tough day at work." Eva sat down next to Maria and took her hand. "Do you want to talk about what happened?" Maria sighed, sadness evident in her eyes. "Those young people at work again. They disrespected me in a way I've never seen before. I felt like all my effort and dedication were being ignored." Eva squeezed Maria's hand tenderly. "You've always done your best, Maria. They don't have the right to disrespect you. You're an incredible person and a role model for all of us." "I know, but it's hard not to take it personally," Maria replied, her voice heavy with frustration. I've always loved my job and tried to treat everyone with respect. Seeing someone act like that, it's disheartening. Eva got up and went to the kitchen to prepare something comforting. I'll make you some tea. That might help calm you down a bit. As Eva made the tea, Maria reflected on the incident. She thought about the harsh words from the young people and the feeling of being undervalued. She remembered the many times she faced difficulties and challenges throughout her life, but always found the strength to keep going. When Eva returned with the tea, Maria thanked her and took a warm sip of the comforting drink. Thank you, dear. This really helps. Eva smiled and sat down next to Maria again. You have to remember that, no matter how tough things get, you're not alone. I and others who know you well understand the value you bring to your work and to people's lives. The next morning, Maria woke up with renewed determination. She knew she couldn't let others' disrespect determine how she felt about herself. With a fresh focus, she decided she needed to pick herself up and face the situation with dignity. She arrived at work early, even before the first customers, and met with Mr. Thompson in the back area. Good morning, Mr. Thompson, Maria said, with a voice firmer than the day before. I want to thank you for your support yesterday. I just wanted to talk about what happened and how we can handle such situations in the future. Mr. Thompson looked at Maria with a sympathetic gaze. Good morning, Maria. Of course, we can discuss this. I understand how difficult this can be for you, and I want to ensure we're doing everything we can to maintain a respectful environment. Maria nodded. I just don't want this to happen again. And, if possible, I'd like to find a way to educate young people about respect so they don't have to go through this. That's an excellent idea, Thompson said, smiling. Let's see what we can do to promote better understanding and respect among our customers and staff. As the day went on, Maria felt a bit lighter. She knew there was still much to be done, but she was determined to face the challenges with the strength and dignity that always defined her. She found a new purpose in her mission to promote respect and understanding and was ready to make a difference, one day at a time. As the days went by, Maria Johnson began to realize that she needed some time for herself. The incident with the young people and the emotional weight she carried began to influence her state of mind. She decided she needed a break to reflect on her life and find a new perspective. On a quiet Saturday morning, Maria woke up early, still feeling the need for clarity. She brewed a strong coffee and, instead of heading straight to the diner, decided to visit a few places that held special meaning in her life. With coffee in hand and a small bag with a few essentials, she got into her car and drove to her first destination. The first place Maria chose was the old neighborhood where she grew up. Driving through the familiar streets, she felt a wave of nostalgia. The neighborhood had changed quite a bit, but there were still traces of her childhood. Maria parked the car near the house where she had spent her youth. She got out and walked up to the garden entrance, where she had spent many summers running and playing. With a wistful smile, she looked at the house now in different hands, but what struck her most were the memories of her mother, who had always supported her. Mom, Maria murmured to herself, how would you handle this? How would you help me find the strength I need now? Slowly, Maria walked over to a small bench in the local park, a place she used to visit with her mother. She sat down and began reminiscing about the old days, trying to reconnect with the lessons and love her mother had given her. After a while, Maria decided to move on to her next destination, the community center where she had volunteered when she was younger. She hoped that the familiar environment and the people she knew could offer some perspective. Upon arriving, Maria was greeted by Betty, an old friend who worked at the center. Maria, it's been so long. What brings you here? Betty asked with a warm smile. Maria smiled back, though the sadness was still evident in her eyes. Hi, Betty. I needed some time to think and thought a visit to the community center might be good for me. Betty noticed the seriousness in Maria's demeanor. Come sit here, dear. Let's have a coffee and talk. As the two sat down at a table and began chatting, Maria shared her concerns and frustrations. You know, Betty, it's hard not to feel like all my efforts are in vain. I feel like I'm being ignored and disrespected by people who barely know me. Betty listened attentively and, after a moment of reflection, said, "Maria, I understand what you're going through. But you need to remember that your contribution to the community is invaluable. People might not see it now, but the impact you have is profound. The respect you deserve comes from your own dignity and the value you bring to others." Maria pondered Betty's words. "It's comforting to hear that. I just need to find a way to remember my worth, even when others seem not to see it." Betty smiled gently. "You've always been an inspiration to all of us. Sometimes it's important to remember your own strengths and the positive influence you have. And remember, people have their own insecurities and behaviors. That doesn't diminish who you are." With a new sense of perspective, Maria thanked Betty and began planning the next step of her journey. She decided she needed to reconnect with her interests and passions outside of work as a way to rejuvenate and recharge her energies. Maria's final destination was a small local bookstore where she used to spend hours reading and losing herself in books. As she entered the shop, she was greeted by the owner, Mr. Thompson, a friendly man who always had a kind word. "Maria, it's been so long. What can I do for you today?" Mr. Thompson asked while organizing a shelf of books. "I'm just looking for a bit of inspiration," Maria replied. "I need something to help me reflect on my life and find a new perspective." Mr. Thompson smiled and went to a specific section of the store. "Here, we have a selection of books on life stories and overcoming challenges. Maybe you'll find something that resonates with you." Maria looked over the books and chose one about overcoming adversity and inner strength. As she paid for it, Mr. Thompson said, "I hope this helps to light your path, Maria." Never underestimate the power of words. Maria left the bookstore with a book in hand and a renewed sense of purpose. She knew her journey to find clarity and purpose was still ongoing, but she felt more prepared to face the challenges ahead. With a new sense of hope, Maria returned home, ready to tackle the next chapter of her life with a clearer perspective and renewed determination. The days following Maria Johnson's period of reflection brought a new energy to the Sunrise Diner. The incident involving the disrespectful youths quickly spread throughout the community, and soon Maria became the center of an unexpected support movement. A week after the incident, Mr. Thompson decided to take proactive steps to address the situation. He organized a meeting with the diner staff to discuss how they could foster a more respectful and welcoming environment. On the morning of the meeting, the diner was quiet, with only a few early customers enjoying their meals. Mr. Thompson gathered all the employees in the break room. Maria was present, along with Jane, the cook Bob, and the other servers. "Good morning, everyone," Thompson began. "As you know, we've had some issues with how Ms. Johnson was treated recently. I'd like to discuss how we can improve our approach and create a more respectful environment." Jane raised her hand and spoke. "I'd like to say that I fully support Mr. Thompson. Ms. Johnson has always been a positive presence here, and no one should be treated that way." Maria, touched by Jane's words, added, "I really appreciate everyone's support. What concerns me most is how we can ensure this doesn't happen again, and how we can educate our customers about respect." Bob, known for his good humor, made a practical suggestion. "We could create some posters to put on the tables and counter, reminding customers about the importance of respect and dignity. It could be a simple way to send a clear message." Thompson agreed. "That's an excellent idea, Bob. We'll get those posters made and ensure they're visible to all our customers. We can also set up training for new employees on handling difficult situations respectfully." As the meeting continued, Maria began to notice the community truly mobilizing. The next day, when she arrived at work, she saw the diner environment changing. Posters with messages of respect and inclusion were displayed on the walls, and there was a new sense of solidarity among the staff. The community's support was evident when a group of regular customers, including Jane and other local residents, gathered to show their support for Maria. They organized small events, such as community coffees and discussion sessions, to promote understanding and empathy. During one of these events, Maria met with one of the attendees, Susan, a diner patron who had been moved by the situation. "Maria, I wanted to let you know how touched I was by your story," Susan said with a kind smile. I'm a teacher, and I'd like to incorporate some lessons on respect and dignity into my curriculum. I believe we can teach our young people to treat everyone with more empathy. Maria was moved by Susan's initiative. That's wonderful, Susan. I'm glad to know that my experience can help inspire positive change. If you need any help or materials, I'm here for you. The support grew even stronger when a small ceremony was organized at the diner to acknowledge Maria's impact on the community. Regular customers, staff, and friends gathered to celebrate her contribution and show how much she was valued. During the ceremony, Thompson took the makeshift stage and gave a speech. Today, we're here to recognize Ms. Johnson's incredible strength and dignity. She has faced challenges with admirable grace and reminded us of the importance of treating everyone with respect. With tears in her eyes, Maria thanked everyone. I never imagined this would turn into something so significant. Your support means the world to me. I just hope we can continue to build an environment where everyone feels valued. The event ended with applause and words of encouragement, and the sense of community and solidarity was palpable. Maria went home that night with a renewed sense of hope and gratitude. She knew the fight for dignity and respect was far from over, but the unity of the community was a testament to the fact that meaningful change was possible. Through the ongoing support and mobilization of the community, Maria began to feel that, despite the challenges, a promising future lay ahead. The journey was just beginning, and she was ready to continue fighting for dignity and respect, with the strength of a united community by her side. As the weeks went by, the Sunrise Diner experienced a transformation. The atmosphere had changed significantly since the incident with the youths. The movement to support Maria Johnson was setting a new standard of respect and understanding among both the staff and the customers. One typical morning, Maria arrived early to work and found Thompson in a meeting with a group of graphic designers. They were discussing the new awareness posters that had been ordered following the team meeting. "Good morning, Mr. Thompson," Maria said as she approached. "What's going on here?" Thompson smiled when he saw her. "Good morning, Maria. We're discussing the posters we talked about at the meeting. We want to ensure that the messages about respect and dignity are clear and effective." Maria watched as one of the posters was presented, a vibrant image with the message, "Respect and dignity for all." She felt relieved to see that the goal was being realized. "These look great," Maria commented. "They'll definitely help remind everyone about the importance of respect." "Yes, we hope they make a real difference," Thompson replied. "We're also planning a small launch ceremony to introduce the posters and show our ongoing commitment to a respectful environment." Maria was excited about the idea. "That's wonderful. I'd love to help organize the ceremony. It's a great opportunity to reinforce the message of respect." With the ceremony planned for the following weekend, the diner staff worked hard to prepare for the event. Posters were placed in visible locations, and a small area was decorated for the occasion. On the day of the ceremony, the diner was adorned with balloons and banners, and a small table with snacks and drinks was set up for the guests. The local community was invited to participate, and Maria was eager to see the people's response. As the guests began to arrive, Maria was greeted by Jane, who had been a strong supporter throughout the journey. "Hi, Maria. The ceremony looks beautiful," Jane said, giving her a hug. "I'm so happy to see everyone here supporting this cause." "Thank you, Jane. It's amazing to see the community coming together like this," Maria replied, with a grateful smile. The event began with a brief speech from Thompson, who explained the importance of the new posters and the diner's commitment to an inclusive environment. "Today, we're celebrating not just the implementation of these messages, but also the spirit of respect and empathy that we want to foster here at the diner and in our community," Thompson said enthusiastically. "We're united in our effort to ensure that everyone is treated with dignity." After Thompson's speech, it was Maria's turn to address the audience. With a microphone in hand and a deeply emotional expression, she spoke about her experience and the importance of community support. "I want to thank everyone who has stood by me during this journey. The support I've received from you has given me the strength to keep fighting for what is right," Maria said. "These posters are more than just words on a wall. They're a reminder that everyone deserves respect and dignity. The audience listened attentively, and at the end of her speech, Maria received a warm ovation. The ceremony was a success, and the posters were officially revealed, being placed in strategic locations throughout the diner. With the event concluded, Maria and the other staff members gathered for a brief celebratory dinner. Jane approached Maria and handed her a small wrapped gift. "I know it's not much, but I thought you deserved a special thank you," Jane said with a smile. Maria unwrapped the gift and found a book about leadership and inspiration. "This is perfect, Jane. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your support." "You deserve all this and more," Jane replied. "Your courage and dignity have been an inspiration to all of us." The day ended with a sense of accomplishment and optimism. The diner was not only promoting a respectful environment, but also strengthening the bonds within the community. Maria felt that, although the fight for respect and dignity was ongoing, she had taken an important step toward ensuring that the change was real and lasting. She was ready to face the future with a renewed sense of purpose and the certainty that, when the community comes together, great things can happen. With the success of the Respect poster launch, the atmosphere at Sunrise Diner seemed to have improved. The environment was more welcoming, and conversations between customers and staff had become more polite and respectful. However, not everything was completely resolved. The true test of how the diner would handle future challenges was yet to come. One morning, as Maria was setting up the tables, a group of young people walked in. They were behaving more respectfully than the previous group, but Maria knew she needed to stay alert. As they approached a table, Maria greeted them with a warm smile. "Good morning, everyone. What can I get for you today?" Maria asked, trying to keep her tone friendly. One of the young men, Lucas, seemed particularly hesitant. He looked at Maria with a mix of caution and respect. "Hi, we just wanted a coffee and some muffins. And, I wanted to say that after seeing the posters and hearing about what happened, I thought it was important to treat you with respect." Maria was taken aback by Lucas's attitude and smiled gratefully. "Thank you so much, Lucas. I really appreciate your words and gesture." Lucas smiled shyly, and after placing the order, the group sat down and began to chat. As Maria moved away to prepare the order, she felt a weight lift from her shoulders. It was a sign that the changes were starting to have an effect. Later that day, during a lunch break, Maria ran into Jane in the break room. Jane was sitting and reading a book and looked up when Maria approached. "Hi, Maria. How's the day going so far?" Jane asked with a warm smile. "It's going well," Maria replied. "Today, some young people came in and were very respectful. It made me feel like maybe things are really changing." "That's great to hear," Jane said, excited. "I really hope the message is reaching more people and that everyone starts to see the value of respect." As they were talking, Mr. Thompson walked into the room. He looked worried, and his expression immediately caught Maria and Jane's attention. "Mr. Thompson, is everything okay?" Maria asked. Thompson sighed and sat down next to them. "I've received some feedback from a few customers who aren't very happy with the changes. They think we're going too far with the posters and the focus on respect." Jane frowned. "What exactly are they saying?" "Some customers feel that the emphasis on respect messages is creating an overly political or forced atmosphere," Thompson explained. "It's frustrating because, despite all the effort to create a welcoming environment, there's resistance from some customers." Maria reflected on the situation. "I understand that there might be resistance, but I believe it's important to stay focused on the goal. Change takes time, and resistance is a natural part of the process." Thompson nodded. "Yes, I agree. But I'd like to find a balance where we can continue promoting respect without alienating customers who may not be as receptive." Jane suggested, "Maybe we could organize a feedback event with customers. We could discuss what they think about the changes and how we might make adjustments if needed." Thompson thought the idea was excellent. That could be a good way to open a dialogue and show that we're willing to listen to the community's concerns. The following week, the diner hosted a feedback event, inviting customers to a meeting where they could share their opinions and discuss the changes. The room was filled with customers, staff, and community members, ready to participate in the conversation. During the event, Maria spoke to explain the purpose of the posters and the initiative. We want to ensure that everyone feels respected and welcome here. However, we know that change can be challenging, and we're here to listen to your opinions and work together to find a balance. Several customers shared their concerns, while others expressed support. One customer, Mr. Green, said, "I understand the goal, but sometimes I feel like the posters are everywhere. Maybe we could find a middle ground." Other customers, like Mrs. Williams, said, "I think the focus on respect is crucial. We often forget the importance of treating everyone with dignity." The discussion was lively and constructive. At the end of the event, Thompson thanked everyone for their participation and announced that they would review the feedback and consider adjustments to better serve everyone. "We want to ensure that the diner remains a place where everyone feels comfortable and respected," Thompson said. "Thank you for helping us make that happen." Maria felt relieved to see that the discussion was productive and that there was a willingness to adjust the approach as needed. The event demonstrated that, despite the challenges, the community was willing to collaborate to find solutions that benefited everyone. As evening fell, Maria left the diner with a sense of accomplishment. She knew there was still much work ahead, but the willingness to listen and adapt, along with the ongoing support of the community, indicated that they were on the right track. The journey to promote respect and dignity was ongoing, and Maria was determined to continue fighting for an environment where everyone was valued and respected. Spring had brought a new freshness to Atlanta, and Sunrise Diner was thriving under the new atmosphere of respect and inclusion. Maria Johnson continued to work with dedication and saw the positive results of the changes made. However, life, with its twists and turns, brought an unexpected surprise: the return of an old friend, James Carter. James had been a colleague of Maria's during her early years at the diner before he moved to another city in search of new opportunities. The two had lost touch over the years, but Maria often fondly remembered the time they worked together. One morning, as Maria was setting up the tables, she heard the bell on the door ring and saw a tall man with a familiar, warm smile walking into the diner. It was James, with an air of excitement. "Maria? Maria Johnson," James exclaimed when he saw Maria. "Is it really you?" Maria looked at him, initially confused, and then her eyes lit up with recognition. "James, what a wonderful surprise. What are you doing here?" James smiled widely and walked over to her. "I was visiting the city and decided to stop by. I couldn't believe it when I heard about the changes here and how you've been at the center of it all." "It's great to see you again," Maria said, hugging James. "Come on, have a seat. I'll make something special for you." James sat down at a nearby table, and Maria went to the kitchen to prepare coffee and some special dishes. As she worked, she couldn't help but think about how life seemed to have a way of bringing people together at just the right moments. When Maria brought the coffee and dishes to the table, she sat down with James. "So, what brought you back to Atlanta?" James smiled, looking around the diner. "I've always heard good things about Sunrise Diner and thought I'd come visit. And when I heard about the changes you've helped implement, I was really impressed." "It's been a challenging time," Maria said, taking a sip of her coffee. "We had some issues at first, but the community came together and we managed to make a difference. There are still challenges, but we're making progress." James listened intently. "I always knew you had a big heart and incredible dedication. But tell me more about the recent challenges. How are people reacting?" Maria paused, reflecting on the past few months. "We're still working on balancing expectations and ensuring that everyone feels respected. We've organized feedback events to hear from the community and adjust our approach as needed." "That's very admirable," James commented. "It seems like you've turned a challenge into an opportunity for growth." Maria smiled modestly. "We're trying. And the community support has been crucial. It reminds me of the importance of staying connected and listening to others." During their conversation, Maria found James's presence comforting. He brought a sense of familiarity and support that was valuable, especially during times of change. James listened attentively, offering advice and words of encouragement. "You've done an amazing job, Maria. And I'm sure you'll continue to make a difference, James said as he finished his coffee. If you need any help or want to share your experiences, I'm here for that. I really appreciate that, James, Maria replied with a genuine smile. And it's great to have an old friend back to share this with. After a few hours of conversation and reminiscing, James got up to say goodbye. I need to head out now, but it was great seeing you again. Let's keep in touch. And if there's anything I can do to help, just let me know. Definitely, James. It was really good to see you, Maria said, hugging him again. Thank you for everything. As James left, Maria felt a renewed sense of optimism. James's visit not only brought a connection to her past, but also reminded Maria of the importance of having support and lasting friendships during challenging times. As Maria continued her work, she felt revitalized and motivated by her friend's visit. Life, with its surprises and challenges, had provided a moment of reconnection that reaffirmed her determination to keep fighting for an environment of respect and dignity. She knew that despite the difficulties, she was surrounded by a supportive community and friends, which gave her strength to move forward. Summer arrived in Atlanta, bringing with it the city's characteristic heat. Sunrise Diner continued to thrive with its new atmosphere of respect and inclusion. Maria Johnson, now accustomed to the new procedures and community support, began to reflect on the impact her work had made and the opportunities for personal and professional growth. One morning, Maria was organizing a training session for new employees, a practice that had now become an integral part of the diner's routine. The session aimed to educate new team members about the importance of respect and empathy in customer service. As the new employees settled into the training room, Maria entered and began the session with an encouraging smile. "Good morning, everyone," Maria started. "Today, we're going to talk about something that's fundamental to our diner's success: respect and dignity in customer service." The employees listened attentively as Maria explained the basic principles that had been introduced following the incident with the young people. She shared stories and examples, emphasizing the importance of treating each customer with empathy and understanding. "I want you to know that our goal is to create an environment where everyone feels valued and respected," Maria said, looking around the room. "This means listening to customers, understanding their needs, and treating every person with dignity." After the session, Maria spoke with Jane, who was passing through the training room to check on the new employee's progress. "How do you think the session went?" Jane asked. "I think it went well," Maria replied. "The new employees seem engaged and interested. I hope that, over time, they'll integrate well into our team." Jane smiled. "I'm sure they'll do a great job. And your dedication to training is inspiring." As they talked, Maria thought about the discussions she had with Thompson about the diner's future. She felt it was time to reflect on her own goals and how she could continue contributing in meaningful ways. In the afternoon, Maria met with Thompson in his office. Thompson was reviewing some documents when Maria entered, looking thoughtful. "Mr. Thompson, I was thinking about how we could expand our Respect initiative beyond the diner," Maria began. "Maybe we could organize community events or workshops involving other local businesses and organizations." Thompson looked up from his documents and smiled. "That's an excellent idea, Maria. Do you have any ideas in mind?" "Yes, I was thinking of something like an empathy day, where different businesses and organizations come together to promote activities and discussions on respect and inclusion," Maria explained. "We could invite speakers, organize discussion panels, and even have interactive activities to engage the community." "That sounds fantastic," Thompson said enthusiastically. "Let's work together to develop a plan for Empathy Day. I believe this could have a significant positive impact." As they began planning the event, Maria felt excited about the prospect of expanding the diner's impact to the broader community. She knew that the work was far from over, but she was thrilled about the opportunity to continue making a difference. By the end of the day, Maria received a call from James Carter, who had returned to his city. He was eager to hear how things had been since his last visit. "Hi, Maria. How are things at Sunrise Diner?" James asked, his tone friendly. "Hi, James. Things are going well," Maria replied. "We're planning a big community event to promote respect and inclusion. And I have to thank you for the support you gave me. It really made a difference. I'm glad to hear that, James said. If you need any more help or advice, I'm here for whatever you need. And who knows, maybe I can come back for the event. It would be great to have you there, Maria said, excited. I'll definitely get in touch to keep you updated on the details. As Maria hung up the phone, she felt a wave of gratitude. Reflecting on her goals and the ongoing support from friends and colleagues reinforced her commitment to the cause. Empathy Day was becoming a reality, and Maria was thrilled about the impact it could have. She knew that by continuing to work towards promoting respect and dignity, she was creating a legacy that could inspire and help others. With new challenges and goals on the horizon, Maria was ready to face the future with determination and hope, knowing that each step toward inclusion was a step toward a better world. The big day had finally arrived. Empathy Day was about to become a reality at Sunrise Diner, and Maria Johnson was filled with anticipation and nerves. The community event promised to be a milestone in the diner's mission to promote respect and inclusion. On the morning of the event, the diner was transformed. Tables and chairs had been rearranged to accommodate the various planned activities. Panels and banners highlighted messages of empathy and dignity, and a special area was set up for lectures and discussions. Maria was in the midst of the final preparations when Jane walked into the diner, bringing an animated smile and a small bag of additional materials. "Good morning, Maria," Jane exclaimed. "We're almost ready to get started. How are you feeling?" "Good morning, Jane," Maria replied, adjusting a banner. "I'm excited but a bit nervous. I hope everything goes smoothly." Jane approached and began helping organize some brochures. "I'm sure it will be a success. The work you've done so far has been incredible, and this event will only reinforce that." As the team put the finishing touches on the setup, Thompson arrived with a group of representatives from local organizations who had agreed to participate in the event. He looked pleased to see the diner ready to welcome the guests. "Good morning, everyone," Thompson said, greeting those present. "We're about to start, and I'd like to thank you all for joining us today. This event is an opportunity for our community to come together and learn more about the value of respect and empathy." Representatives from various organizations began setting up their respective booths. There was a stand for a local youth support group, another for an organization working with the elderly, and a space dedicated to discussions on workplace inclusion. The first lecture was given by Susan, the teacher who had expressed interest in promoting lessons on respect in her school. She took the stage and began talking about the importance of teaching empathy from an early age. "Hello, everyone," Susan started. "Today, I want to discuss how empathy can be a powerful tool for transforming our society. When we teach children the importance of treating others with respect, we are investing in a more harmonious future." The audience listened attentively, and Maria felt a warm sense of satisfaction seeing the impact of Susan's words. The lecture was followed by a series of discussion panels where experts and community members shared their experiences and knowledge on the topic. As the event progressed, Maria had the opportunity to talk with some of the participants. She met a group of teenagers who were volunteering to help with the event's organization. "Hi, everyone. I'm so glad you're here to help," Maria said with a smile. "How's it going?" One of the teenagers, Lucas, who had been one of the young people who showed respect earlier, responded, "We're loving it here. It's great to see so many people coming together for something so important." Maria was touched by Lucas's words. "Thank you for being here. Your support and involvement are crucial to the success of this event." Throughout the day, Maria noticed that the event was truly making a difference. Conversations were enriching, and the exchange of ideas was fostering an environment of learning and collaboration. As the afternoon progressed, Thompson took the stage to close the event with a few final words. "I want to thank everyone who participated in Empathy Day," Thompson said. "What we witnessed today is a true testament to the power of community. Each of you contributed to making this a meaningful day, and I hope we continue to carry forward these lessons of respect and inclusion." Maria stood beside Thompson, and at the end of his speech, he turned to her and smiled. "You did an amazing job today. The event was a great success." "I really appreciate that, Thompson," Maria replied, emotional. It was a collective effort, and I'm thrilled with the outcome. Seeing the community come together like this is what truly makes a difference. The event ended with a joyous reception where people gathered to chat, make new connections, and celebrate the day's success. Maria and Jane found a corner of the diner, watching the crowd and reflecting on the impact of the event. "I couldn't have imagined a better day," Jane said with a satisfied smile. "It was incredible to see everyone coming together to support the cause." "I agree," Maria responded. "This event was a huge step for our mission to promote respect and empathy, and everyone's support was key to its success." As evening fell and the event came to an end, Maria felt content with the impact they had made. She knew that the work was far from over, but Empathy Day had proven that the community was ready to support the cause and make a difference. Maria left Sunrise Diner that night with a heart full of gratitude and hope. She was excited about the future and the possibility of continuing to promote positive changes in the community. Maria's journey was continuously evolving, and she was ready to face the challenges and celebrate the victories to come. Sunrise Diner had become a symbol of respect and inclusion in Atlanta, and the notoriety of Empathy Day had attracted the attention of several local media outlets. With growing recognition, Maria Johnson found herself facing new challenges and opportunities that promised to further transform the diner and its community. One morning, while Maria was reviewing some notes in the staff room, Jane walked in with an excited expression and an envelope in hand. "Good morning, Maria," Jane exclaimed. "We have some exciting news." Maria looked up, curious. "Good morning, Jane. What do you have there?" Jane handed the envelope to Maria. "We received a letter from the City Council. They've heard about our work and are proposing a partnership for a new community project." Maria opened the envelope with enthusiasm and began reading. The letter was a proposal for a collaboration between Sunrise Diner and the City Council to create a mentorship program for young people seeking personal and professional development. "This is amazing," Maria said, looking at Jane. "The City Council wants us to be part of a mentorship program. This could be a great opportunity to expand our impact." Jane smiled. "Yes, and it's an excellent way to continue promoting respect and inclusion. We'll need to plan how this will be implemented and how we can make a difference." Later that day, Maria met with Thompson to discuss the proposal. Thompson was excited about the possibility and immediately began sketching out a plan. "I think this is an excellent opportunity," Thompson said, as he reviewed the details of the proposal. "We could create a program where our staff and other community mentors could offer guidance and support to young people." "I agree," Maria responded. "We could include workshops on professional skills, discussions about respect in the workplace, and even internship opportunities for these young people." Thompson made a note. "I'll contact the City Council to set up a meeting with the project leaders. In the meantime, we can start preparing the program structure." As planning for the new project was underway, Maria also began facing unforeseen challenges. Some customers expressed concerns about the diner's shift in focus and the new direction being taken. Maria knew she needed to address these issues with sensitivity and openness. On a busy day, Maria found a regular customer, Mr. Allen, sitting alone at a table. She approached him to chat. "Good morning, Mr. Allen. How's your coffee today?" Maria asked, trying to keep a friendly tone. Mr. Allen looked up from his coffee with a concerned expression. "Good morning, Maria. The coffee's great, but I'd like to discuss something that's been bothering me." "Of course, Mr. Allen. What's going on?" Maria asked, concerned. "I've noticed that the diner has changed a lot since Empathy Day," Mr. Allen began. "I understand that promoting respect and inclusion is important, but some of the changes are affecting the atmosphere of the diner. I miss how things used to be." Maria listened attentively. "I understand your concerns, Mr. Allen. The goal of these changes was to create an environment where everyone feels welcome and respected. However, I want to ensure that we continue to maintain the essence of the diner, which has always been warm and friendly." "I appreciate your understanding, Maria," Mr. Allen replied. "I just wanted you to know how I feel." "Thank you for sharing that with me," Maria said. "I'll take your concerns into account and discuss with the team how we can improve and ensure that the diner remains a pleasant place for everyone." Later, Maria met with Jane to discuss the conversation with Mr. Allen. "I spoke with Mr. Allen today," Maria began. "He expressed some concerns about the changes in the diner. I feel we need to find a balance between promoting respect and maintaining the welcoming atmosphere we've always had." Jane thought for a moment. "Maybe we could organize a meeting with regular customers to hear their opinions and find ways to adjust as needed." "That's an excellent idea," Maria agreed. "Let's plan a meeting for next week and involve the customers in the conversation." With the new community project planning and the need to address customer concerns, Maria was busy and focused on finding solutions. The diner continued to evolve, and Maria was determined to ensure that Sunrise Diner remained a place of respect and warmth for everyone. As the days went by, Maria reflected on the journey she had been on and the challenges that still lay ahead. She knew that the road ahead wouldn't always be easy, but the dedication to creating an inclusive and respectful environment was the guiding force for her. At the end of the day, Maria sat at her desk, surrounded by notes and plans for the future. With a sense of determination and hope, she was ready to face the new challenges and seize the opportunities that would come. The work was far from over, but Maria was committed to continuing her efforts for a world where everyone felt valued and respected. Autumn arrived in Atlanta, bringing a crisp breeze and golden leaves covering the streets. Sunrise Diner continued to thrive, and Maria Johnson's influence in the community was increasingly evident. After months of planning and hard work, the mentorship program was about to begin, and the diner was preparing for a special launch event. Maria was at the diner, organizing the final details for the event. The tables were decorated with colorful tablecloths and informational brochures about the mentorship program. The team was excited, and the atmosphere was filled with anticipation. As she adjusted a banner near the entrance, Jane approached with an enthusiastic expression. "Good morning, Maria," Jane exclaimed. "We're almost ready for the program launch. The city is excited about it." "Good morning, Jane," Maria replied with a smile. "Yes, I'm really excited too. I hope the event is a success and that we can truly make a difference in these young people's lives." "I'm sure it will be a great success," Jane said, helping Maria with the preparations. "You've done an amazing job getting us to this point. It's wonderful to see everything coming together." As the afternoon approached, city representatives, mentors, and young participants began arriving. Maria stood near the entrance, greeting guests and thanking them for their support. Among the guests was James Carter, who had returned to Atlanta to attend the event. "Hi, Maria," James said, giving her a warm hug. "I'm so happy to see how everything is coming together." "Hi, James. It's great to have you here," Maria replied. "We're about to get started, and your presence means a lot to me." With all the guests settled, Maria took the stage and prepared to deliver her opening speech. "Good afternoon, everyone," Maria began, her voice steady and clear. "It's a great honor to be here today to launch our mentorship program. This project represents not only Sunrise Diner's commitment to the community, but also our belief that we can make a significant difference in the lives of young people." The audience applauded, and Maria continued. "Our goal is to provide guidance, support, and opportunities for young people who are starting their professional and personal journeys. With the help of dedicated mentors and community support, we are confident that we can help shape a better future." After the speech, participants were invited to gather in groups to meet their mentors and start familiarizing themselves with the program. Maria met with some of the young people, talking about their expectations and goals. "Hi, I'm Maria," she said to a group of young people chatting with their new mentors. "I'm excited to see what you'll achieve with this program. If you have any questions or need anything, I'm always here to help." A young woman, Samantha, looked at Maria with admiration. "Thank you, Maria. I'm really excited to start. I've always wanted to learn more about how the professional world works, and this seems like a great opportunity." "I'm glad to hear that," Maria replied. "I hope you make the most of it and find the guidance you're looking for." As the event progressed, Maria felt a wave of accomplishment seeing the interaction between mentors and young people. The conversations were full of enthusiasm and optimism, and Maria knew that the program had the potential to create a lasting impact. Later, As the event was winding down, Maria found Thompson in a corner of the diner, watching the activity with satisfaction. "I think the event was a big success," Thompson commented. "You did an exceptional job, Maria." "Thank you, Thompson," Maria replied. "It was a collective effort, and the community's support was crucial. I'm very happy with what we've achieved." "I am too," Thompson said, smiling. "And I'm looking forward to seeing how the program develops. It's a significant legacy." Maria felt a deep sense of gratitude as she heard Thompson's words. She knew that the work was far from over, but the achievement of launching the mentorship program and the sense of having made a significant difference in young people's lives brought a new perspective. As Maria walked through the diner, observing the interactions between mentors and young people, she reflected on her journey from the beginning. The struggles, challenges, and victories had led her to this moment of fulfillment. With a smile on her face, Maria felt grateful for the opportunity to contribute to the community and leave a legacy of respect and inclusion. She knew that despite the challenges that might still arise, the work done so far had created a positive and lasting impact. At the end of the day, Maria said goodbye to the guests and prepared to close the diner. As she walked out, she looked at Sunrise Diner with a sense of pride and hope. The diner was not just a place to eat. It was a symbol of change and a beacon of empathy and respect in the community. Maria left the diner with the certainty that her mission was fulfilled, but with a promise to continue working to promote an environment where everyone felt respected and valued. With a promising future ahead and a legacy of positive impact, Maria was ready to face whatever came next, always guided by her passion for making a difference.